Today I want to talk about neutral pelvis, which is a Pilates principle, but it has repercussions for everything we do. If you think about how the way our pelvis is arranged and basically our legs are kind of swinging off it, basically our entire posture can be affected by how we hold the pelvis, because then the ribs are stacked on top of that, the shoulders, the head, and everything. It's important for back health, for overall health, and to make sure you're doing the right exercises to have a neutral pelvis for you as much as possible. So I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do. It's a yoga exercise. It's called cat-cow. Most people know this one. So cat-cow, you're going to have your shoulders over your wrists and hips are over knees. And on an exhale, tuck your tail and try to round your lower back. Okay, so pay attention to the lower back here. On an inhale, you're going to arch the lower back. So you can see I am flexing my lower back, tucking my pelvis in, tucking my tailbone under. I am arching or extending the lower back. So that gets you through the full range of motion. And then somewhere in the middle there is your neutral pelvis, okay? We all develop bad habits that might bring that neutral pelvis to be a little more exaggerated. You know, if you carry a lot of weight here, or maybe you are tight in the hamstrings or the glutes, that can shift your pelvis. But what I encourage you to do is to try and find this neutral pelvis of yours today and try to keep it for the rest of the day, because what you're going to do is you're going to build muscle memory and you're going to reset a new healthy position for your pelvis that will help you succeed in many things. So let me show you. If you are sitting at your desk, perhaps you would have your legs out, not crossed like this. Really think about the position of your pelvis. Is it really rounded? And so what does that do to everything else? Is your back arched? And what does that do to everything else? You know, this is kind of opened up here, right? So that is important when you're sitting. It's important when you're walking around and bending over. When we engage these deep abdominal muscles, we let the strong core muscles do the work, and then we're not always pulling on the lower back. Let me show you another exercise. Well, this is a Pilates exercise, and you can see that my neutral is to have a bit of a space here. Not too much of a space, and I don't want to be smushed into the mat either, because that will throw some things out, and then I can't properly turn on some of my muscles at the front. So my neutral is right out here. That's what works for me. Another thing I often see to do with exercise is people doing like bird dog, or they're doing a glute exercise like this, and they're kicking up. And you see how it's like a real arching of the back? Well, the purpose of these exercises is to work the glute muscle. So you're going to want to try and stay in a neutral pelvis as much as possible when you do those, okay? So that you're targeting the right muscles, which in this case is the glutes. But same is true of squats. If you do squats with an overly arched back, you can, you don't get the benefits, and you can just sort of reinforce some bad habits. So try some cat-cow. Feel where in the middle is your neutral pelvis. Check it out while you're walking around. Neutral pelvis, maybe you have to tuck the tail a little bit. Maybe you're already quite tucked, and maybe you need to sort of tip your hips down. But find your neutral pelvis and try and keep it all day long, and see if it makes a difference with your posture, with any neck or back pain. And I'm sure it'll make your exercise more effective too. Okay, thanks for listening.